Ate,
Careful, like now, we try not to go out the night before the operate.
ba't nandyan ka?
Oh yeah.
So here we are, the town Capharnaum.
Yeah, I mean,
Ayan, ganito.
звуки читаю такі. Capharnaum is Capharnaum, two words. In the Greek language, it became Capharnaum. Capharnaum is meaning of the village of Nahum. It is a name. Nahum is one of the prophets. Well, as we have like Trump village, so we have Nahum's village. This is the explanation for the name of Capharnaum. And it was a fisherman village. Most of the disciples of Jesus Christ were fishermen. So it was a Jewish community of fishermen, and they had a synagogue. And that synagogue is located over there, that building. It wasn't look like it is now when it was found by the Franciscans. This is a Franciscan site. And the archaeologists of the Franciscans rebuilt some of it, and they were looking for that synagogue because in the New Testament we have a lot of stories about Jesus Christ teaching in synagogues, going among synagogues in the Galilee. So finding Capernaum, and for sure this is Capernaum, and finding a synagogue, it means that Jesus Christ was here. So they started to excavate the site, but then they needed to date it. How can you date a site, historical site? What should you look for with a site? What fossils? This is for prehistoric.
Carbon decay.
So sometimes stones, but carved stones. So the style, maybe ceramics, the style of ceramics. You know, as if I hold this telephone and I would say that this is from the 70s, will you believe me? Of course not. So the style is important, but coins. So in the old times, they put coins underneath the floor for luck. So they removed some of the tiles and they find coins. Unfortunately, those coins were from the 5th century. So it wasn't the synagogue from the time of Jesus Christ, but we'll talk more about it. Well, maybe it is not a lost case, but how can we define that it is a synagogue? So first of all, you see that the doors are facing that direction, which is south. So all the synagogues in the Galilee from the period 4th, 5th, 6th century are facing to the south. And then we need to find some hints. For example, the symbol over there, you see that symbol? It is the chandelier of the Jewish temple, menorah. That is the most ancient symbol of Judaism. And if you look over there, here, you can see it looks like a temple, but there are wheels underneath. So maybe they meant to do the Ark of Covenant. You know that wagon that the Ten Commandments were inside when the Israelis went through the desert. So those signs and those were capitals supporting the roof of the synagogue. So most probably it was a synagogue dated to the time. So, well, not talking about the time of Jesus Christ, but this is definitely a synagogue. So let's go and visit the synagogue.
Synagogue.
So, my friend, I had a question about if we are in Nazareth. So, we left Nazareth, located here in Israel, and we went through the village of Cana, and we are now in the most part of the Sea of Galilee. Sea of Galilee is by the Jordan River from the north, spring water, and then after the Sea of Galilee, it leaves the Sea of Galilee continue going to the Dead Sea, which is located here. We are going in the afternoon to bath or to visit this north part of the Jordan River. Thank you. So those are the mountains of Galilee, Golan Heights, and Jerusalem is here on the mountain, just on the north point of in front of the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so we are now in the north part of the lake, and we are in Capharnaum, in the synagogue of Capharnaum. So, when the Franciscan researchers were looking for the synagogue of Capharnaum, they found this building. This is for sure a synagogue. They were a Jewish community, but, well, it was late after the time of Jesus Christ. So, they didn't give up. You see that this building is built with limestone, the white stone from the mountains of Galilee. And the local stone is basalt. You saw some buildings over there, everything is black, the stone is black. And of course, farmers or fishermen will build their homes with the local stone. They cannot afford themselves to import stones. But if we are talking about the 5th century, so what happened that time? It was after the Roman Empire converted from the pagan religion to Christianity. So they had a lot of temples in the country. What should we do with the temples? Dismantle them. But should we throw the stones? Not at all. We put it in a second-hand store. So the people of Capharnaum bought this building, which in the past was used as a Roman temple, and built a synagogue. But the synagogue, well, it was built here in the highest part of the village. So most probably that they just made renovation, and they had a former synagogue which is buried beneath this building, and they removed part of the floor over there. And if you look down, you see that the base of this building is built with the local stone. So maybe it was the synagogue of Jesus Christ buried underneath this new synagogue, new means from the 5th century, but the oldest synagogue from the time of Jesus Christ was underneath. So I said maybe the synagogue of Jesus Christ, where Jesus Christ was teaching. So I want to show you how the building looks like in the past. So, well, this is like most probably something like that. So it means that he had 2 stories, one for men and the upper story for women. You know, in the Jewish community, they are separating in synagogues between men and women, even till today. Not in Reform synagogues, they pray together, but not in Orthodox synagogue. And this is another option, so how the building look like. So this style of buildings called basilica. It comes from the Greek building style. Basileum in Greek is a king. So this was the place where the king would come to have his visitors or to make trials, and then they adapted it for churches and synagogues as well. So this is where the basilica comes from, the word basilica. So this is the synagogue. Well, you are invited inside, and after that I would like to go to see maybe the oldest church in the world.
Oldest church in the world.
Oldest world, oldest. 先两个站在前面，我给你们照个相。
Parang ganito lang yung mga ginagawa namin sa lugar namin, no?
Oo.
Di ba? Di ba parang wala ka makikitang significant sa Pilipinas, no? Ate Dani, picture mo na. Ate Dani.
No, it's not finished, it's just more. Yeah.